Another very important thing to play around with in the sequence view is the right mouse click options. So when you come into a color sequence, you can select the color sequence and right click, and you're going to get a number of things that you can do. For instance, show all, hide other, collapse all. There's a lot of different options here. So in this video, we're going to explore what those are. So in the sequence view, if I select an object and right click, I can choose to show everything, hide other, and what that means is it will hide everything other than what's selected. And I'll show you how that works. So let me go ahead and click hide other, and you'll notice that everything but this gray artwork, now the eyeball is clicked off, meaning that it's not viewable in the design. Now I have the ghost mode on, so that's why it's showing it in white. If I turn that off, you'll notice that now all I see is that gray artwork, and it might be hard to see on your screen because of the gray background. Let me change that really quick. There's another video for how to do that, but you can see that it just shows it. Now if I come in and I turn on this green, it will bring it back. If I turn on this blue, it'll bring that back. I could select this blue right here, right click, and choose hide other, and now it's going to hide everything but this blue. If I right click again, I can choose to show all, and it will bring all of them back into view. So everything up at the top here when you right mouse click really has to do with, affecting what you can view or how you view it. So another thing is, if I come in here, I right click and I choose to expand all, you'll notice that what that does is expands each color sequence. It's basically like clicking the plus symbol on every single color sequence, so it expands out. And you'll notice that when you work with a design, this happens quite a bit, where a lot of things are expanded and it takes a lot of time to scroll. Don't ever worry about it. It's really easy to fix. You can just select any color sequence here, right click, and choose to collapse all, and that'll collapse all of them at the same time. So that's a very helpful feature of the software. Next, when we come in and we right mouse click on a color sequence, you can see that there's a cut, copy, paste. This is very similar to up here, the cut, copy, and paste in your menus. It works the exact same way. The only difference is really this insert and move. So insert we talked about in a previous video, where you could cut something, place your cursor, and insert it. And that's in the other video in this little series on the sequence view. So if you need to know how to do that, please watch that video. The other thing that I use quite a bit is this move feature. Now what you can't see on the screen because it cuts it off because of the video recording is when I click on move, I can choose to move it to the first object or sequence, last sequence, or I can move it up one, down one. And those are some of the options you have for moving it. So for example, since you can't really see this, I'm going to select this piece. I'm going to right click, I'm going to choose move, and it's going off the screen here, but what I say is move it to the first. And when I click on that, you'll notice that now it's up at the top. So if I hit undo, you'll notice that it's back down here. Now if I left click on or right click on it and choose move last, it'll move it to the bottom. Let me undo that. The other options are right click, move, and you can go up and it moves it up one, or I can move it down one at a time. So those are different features that I utilize quite a bit, actually, is the move feature. You can choose to delete something, remove a stop, and depending on what the object is, you get other options here. So this is artwork here. So I can click on just one piece, not just the entire sequence, right click, and you can see that I get a simplify smoothen. That's a feature that is a right click option. Remove overlap stitches. I can choose to digitize a path before or after. I can add a note. These are all different things that I can do, by right mouse clicking on an object. And just to show you, if I come here to a running stitch and I right click, my options will be different. So it all depends on what you have selected in the design and what you right click on. And I do apologize, it jumps off the screen here, but there's a lot of different options that you have access to. Probably the most frequently used, and for me, is to move something to the first or the last. I usually will move something up and down one at a time just by clicking and dragging it. But when I'm working with a larger design, if I want something at the top or the bottom, I definitely right click and choose the move first or last. So there's a lot of options that you can play around with inside the sequence view, and there'll be other videos that talk about some of those different things.